So let's look at the pattern creative experimentation. I'll read the heart with a little description and explore it in some other directions after I do that. What the heart says is existing evidence is necessary but insufficient to enable appropriate evolution in changing contexts. Thoughtful trial and error within a reasonable range of tolerance for risk is vital for wise development. So promote imagination and prototyping of possibilities wherever need, reason, and aspiration suggest it might be productive, and then review and spread the results. So part of this is like, what does this have to do with wisdom particularly? But one of the things we're doing, because our culture glorifies innovation, the particularly American culture, and 80 or 90% of that is sort of forge ahead energy. Only 10 or 20% say, let's be careful kind of energy. And innovation is often framed within the context of investment and profit. And here we're reframing it. We're just taking that whole world of discovering new things and putting it in the context of being thoughtful and prudent in complex and changing circumstances. We value innovation, but we want it to serve the long-term well-being of the whole. We're back to the definition of wisdom and the prime directive. So this is how do you have a society that does this, that takes unknowns and risks seriously? That's the world we're living in right now. Just driving ahead no matter what is not smart. So in circumstances where there's lots of complexity and things are changing a lot of the time, you don't know what's going to work. You don't know what's going to have negative impacts. You can think about it, and that's good, but let's be careful. Let's do, this is where the pattern talks about prototyping, promote imagination and prototyping of possibilities. So let's see what could happen. What might we try? What would happen if we tried it? Let's do a next step test. Do it in cautious ways. We're not going to block innovation, but we want to have it. We want to have it being done thoughtfully, and we're going to be doing experimenting, not just with high-tech kinds of stuff, but with new forms of governance, new processes, new ways of educating, new healthcare, whatever, all the different domains of society. Ideally, we would be thinking about how could we do this better. So there's an even stronger innovation push in the non-technology domains. It's like, let's try this and see what happens, and modify it and sort of feel our way, and have that be a quality of how we live our lives and how we set things up and how we run things. And in the pattern, it talks about existing evidence is necessary but insufficient. It's an interesting insight that you want evidence-based activities, but to realize that in a system that is complex and changing, whatever evidence you have is very conditional. To not reify and nail down the sense of evidence is truth too quickly, because we are in a dance with changing contexts, and we need to always find out more. There's other patterns about finding out more, expanding situational curiosity and those other related patterns. So this is an applied version of the expanded situational curiosity. And range of tolerance is another pattern. We're looking for what is likely to happen and what kinds of things can we tolerate. The resilience, we want to have flexibility and resilience back up our efforts to do this. So if something goes wrong, we're able to pick up the pieces and get back on track again. And there's definitely curiosity at work here. And there's an evolutionary sense. There's a sense that what we're doing is participating in a larger developmental process. But it's less of, wow, we could make a lot of bucks with this, or we could have a big impact with this, and more, this is an unfolding process, and we're going to feel our way as, thoughtfully and solidly as we can. And then there's the spreading of the results, because it's one thing for a small group of people to know something or have a development, and that's a level of intelligence is being reflected there. But having it spread out into the society, so the whole society or all the stakeholders involved or whatever it is, a larger whole is gaining understanding. To the extent we can do that, that makes the whole society more wise. So I think that's probably the essence of this, how we innovate for the long-term benefit. And there's both an attitude about that, a frame of reference about that, and a way we go about doing it that this pattern embraces.